Final score. Welcome to Rockets postgame presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. 123, 122. It was an up and down night. It was fast paced. It was a game of runs, but let's start with our put him to bed presented by Texas Mattress Makers. And for that, we have to go to the Amen Thompson game winner. Kevin heaves it up. It doesn't go in, but Amen Thompson's quickness, athleticism, his quick hops, Calvin Murphy saved the day. Just what an unbelievable play by Amen Thompson to save Kevin Durant's big night.
I got to say this to the Rocket fans. Look in my life. But this game would make me an alcoholic. It's that simple. But this is what NBA basketball should be about. Both teams leaving it all out there on the floor. The fact that Kevin Durant had a monumental night and his teammates saved it for him was anticlimactic. But when we talk about athleticism, about determination, about refusing to die, it all boils down to that one play that Amen Thompson made. When we threw the ball away with 4 seconds to go, I almost panicked.
You were up here cussing. Absolutely.
But I panicked, but the Rockets didn't. That's the key.
I mean, that sums it up. And Amen Thompson, what I want to key in on before we get to obviously Kevin's big night, the timing of his jump. I mean, the timing of that jump to save the game was incredible.
When I played with a fellow named Moses Malone, who was a great offensive rebounder because he always told me he watched the flight of the ball. He watched the timing of the person shooting it. That's why he always wanted me to take the last shot because he could read my shot. Now, when Kevin shot that ball, he didn't shoot a dead line. He shot an arc, which put it on the rim to give a shooter's bounce. That's what allowed Thompson to time it. He watched it perfectly.
Yeah, he did.
Let's go back to basics. The first thing you teach little kids when you're playing basketball around the rebounding area is to box out. Professionals don't do that sometimes, and it just cost the Heat a game.
Oh, man. And because it cost the Heat the game, the Rockets win. What an unbelievable play by Amen Thompson. But, of course, we cannot bury the lead of the night. Fun can't lose, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, and that is Kevin Durant passing Michael Jordan on the NBA's all-time scoring list. What an accomplishment. And as somebody who has played and seen a lot of basketball, Calvin Murphy, what does this accomplishment mean?
He was very calm and cool and collected about it. But this is something that he's leaving for his kids, that legacy. You know what? The thing that I really appreciated, and I wish a lot of people would understand, to break that record tonight, he didn't try to go outside the offense. He did it within the confines of the offense. He only took 17 shots and made 9 of those, and he timed it perfectly. Now, his teammates threw the ball away a couple of times trying to get him involved, but he didn't rush anything. He just took it, and they knew going down the stretch that to get it in his hands with the defense running at him, that's his style of offensive play.
I mean, it really was a collective effort. When you take a look at the box score, which I have right in front of me, Reed Shepherd, unbelievable night, 23 points, making it absolutely rain for 3. Kevin, 27. Yeah, I mean, and the all-time scoring leaders, of course, which he is now 5th on: LeBron, Kareem, Karl, Kobe, Kevin Durant. I mean, what an accomplishment by the person, that has made such an impact on this generation of basketball, passing the person, Calvin, that many consider to be the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
See, that's what made, I got to slow down. I've gotten so excited.
I love it.
But understand the moment. Mm-hmm. Yes, people may talk about who is the GOAT. The world knows. When you mention Michael Jordan, all of a sudden, if you do something above him, it's monumental.
It is.
It's monumental. And I got to say it once again. He didn't go out there tonight trying to break the record. He wanted to break the record, but he stayed connected to his teammates. They helped him to break that record.
But you could see it in the first half, too. I mean, you and I talked about it up here where it was, Eric Spoelstra was throwing a lot of things at him. And the second half, man, Calvin, he came out determined and much more aggressive.
He only took 5 shots in the first half.
Right.
It looked to me like he didn't want to break the record. By the time that first half would have ended, if Calvin Murphy's going after it, I got me 15 jumpers up. Mm-hmm. But what he did, he simply he allowed the defense to dictate his shots.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he has that confidence. He knows he's a great shooter, a pure shooter. So whatever the defense gave him, he took and made it work.
Yeah, he absolutely did. And you got to think that head coach Ime Udoka is happy about the result of this game. For more, let's hear from Ime in the press conference room.
Coach, can you just talk about that exciting finish to the game?
Yeah, I mean, we made it exciting. They hit some big shots, and we had some unfortunate late turnovers to, help them get back in the game, and then miscue at the end there. But glad Amen saved the day. But shouldn't have been in that position, honestly, going up 119, 112, take care of the ball, get shots, and you're not in that predicament.
A lot of times that you all trail, but you all were able to come back. What you see from the resiliency of your team to be able to come back like that?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we got out to a great start and then kind of went cold there. They were out hustling us, getting to the loose balls, 50-50 balls, and that got them back in the game. Got to a lot of kick out threes, but it was good to see that bounce back a few times tonight, and obviously made a run to push it up late there. So, in general, I think our group doesn't quit and continues to play, but we can clean up some things to avoid that situation.
And what did you just see on the final play where KD misses a shot and Amen ends up tipping it in?
Yeah, I mean, great defense by Adebayo. Kevin gets to a spot, usually can rise up over guys, and, they came to make a play on him, so it left some openings for guys to get in and rebound, and Amen took advantage, didn't just stand and watch. Like I said, the double was coming. Kevin kind of spun away from it and opened up some rebounding lanes.
And we talked all year about, Fred being out and Amen and Reed having to take on bigger roles for this team. What's it been like just seeing those guys mature throughout the season and where they are at this point in the season?
Yeah, it's good growth, especially against a veteran team. And some of the things they throw at you, Miami, you got to be out there talking, being vocal, cerebral, kind of picking apart their zone. And I think they obviously showed improvement from last time we saw them in that area. Got to some really great looks, and then when we went zone on our own side, I think they were both really good up top as well, especially on Hero. And so it's going to be some ups and downs throughout the season with the guys growing and developing at the point guard position, but happy with their progress.
I think you used the term mundane earlier to talk about just how Kevin's always breaking some record or setting some mark. But even though he does a lot, what is it like to see him make history kind of night after night and kind of make it look so easy?
Yeah, I mean, it's, an honor for everybody to kind of be a part of that. And, all these accolades that are getting passed, I don't think he cares much about it in the moment. He's really focused on the season and what we're trying to accomplish and kind of just doing his part and going about his business like he always does. But, like I said, don't want to just make it an afterthought, obviously, to be top 5 all time in scoring and, the efficiency and professionalism he plays with. You kind of can take it for granted. And so, passing a name like Michael Jordan is obviously a huge accomplishment, and we celebrated that with him. Great to do it on a win, and, I'm sure he'll have some more to kind of chop off next.
Second straight game with this new starting 5. What did you see? What did you like? What did you like?
Yeah, I think just gives you more options, handlers, more spacing there. And so we got to figure out some things defensively still. We started great, and then they went to, it's a team that goes a lot of isolation, penetrate and kick, paint touches, and kick outs for threes, and they went away from that and put us in some pick and rolls that hurt us a little bit. The main thing is to be something we have to clean up, but offensively, I mean, we had 90 points or 87 going into the third quarter, so we're doing some good things there. Just have to be a little more steady on the other end. Giving up 96 is way too high in 3 quarters.
Could you guys in the third quarter have had nights where you come out and had to, fight hard to get back into it? This is one of those nights. The third quarter wasn't the greatest in terms of just offense and some other things, but you were able to pick it up in the fourth. How important is that to be able to turn the corner on some games like this?
Yeah, we, like I said, we didn't quit early or late, battled back a few times. And, I think we've been in every situation this year so far, whether it's up early, down early, in the middle of the game and kind of fighting our way back. And it seems like we've been in a lot of those situations lately. We'd rather have more Atlanta games where we're steady and really good on both sides of the ball throughout. But there's going to be some ups and downs and runs, and you try to find the right rotations and we did that tonight.
And a career night for Reed. What did you just see from him running the point and making big shots throughout the night?
Yeah, he put it in his hands a ton. They went zone a lot, so he's going to get some of those open looks, but also delivered the ball well. I think, 14 assists, I think it was, and, career high for him. And so picking the zone apart, making the right, see him kind of growing up right in front of your eyes.
2% overall, 33 assists, just 13 turnovers. What impressed you most about the offensive execution?
Yeah, I mean, we were clicking on our standard. It would have been a nice, comfortable game, but like I said, it gives you more options when you have Reed, Amen, Kevin, different guys, and obviously having Alperen back as well, who's a playmaker, especially against the zone. And so we were getting really good looks. Sometimes you make them, sometimes you don't, and we've seen those games when we struggle a little bit. And nights like tonight when they're going in, we're scoring in the one, high teens, high to mid teens, and so that should be good enough to win the game. Like I said, got to be sharper at the end to avoid the end game situation.
Coach, a lot has been made about your team's vibes and things.
A game.
And hits the game was historic. Yeah.
All right, technology, baby. We're rolling with it. We'll see you after the break. We'll be right back.
Rockets postgame on Space City Home Network is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Fun can't lose.